learning. That's the model where you all get to work on whatever you want to work on when you want to work on it. It may be 2 a.m. where you're looking at this video, or it may be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The whole idea is that you get to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And I think that's probably pretty great. The truth is that I like the classroom environment because there's a lot of feedback. There's not nearly so much feedback when we do this online. That makes the class a little bit more exciting. So the first place that we're going to start is with the idea of inconsistencies between the syllabus and Moodle. There is at least one, and there may be two, inconsistencies intentionally built into the syllabus that are different than Moodle. You know from the syllabus that the syllabus is law and Moodle is an accessory. In other words, you have to go by what's in the syllabus. And the only way that you can modify what's in the syllabus is if there is a legal rationale for doing that. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to the Extra Credit Forum, and I want you to make a few arguments. Look at your thinking a little differently. In real life, this is what happens in almost every contract negotiation, every contract dispute. There's some sort of an inconsistency that occurs within the contract, and you have to work through the system in order to figure out exactly how that inconsistency would be, one, determined by a court, and two, in the best interest of the parties so that you can continue to have an ongoing relationship. So there's an Extra Credit Forum set up. It talks about the difference between legal thinking and regular academic thinking. So I want you to go there and I want you to take a look at that forum and put some thought into it. And I'll give you a few hints. In the law, there are things called legal maxims. One of them, for instance, is res ipsa loquitur, which means the thing speaks for itself. The reason lawyers use these sorts of Latin expressions is so that we can charge more per hour. Really, it's because the history used the Latin expressions, and so we've continued to use them over the course of time. But I want you to find some of those maxims and apply them to the notion of, can you receive extra credit in this course? Because it is not in the syllabus. There is no mention of extra credit in the syllabus. And so you have to come up with a creative rationale for why you can have extra credit. If it's not in the syllabus and that's the contract and that's law, can you have extra credit? And until somebody proves the case that you can have extra credit, you can't. The next thing is that the case briefs in this class are very, very difficult. If you do poorly in the class, it'll be because you did poorly on the case briefs. The idea behind a case brief is that you take a case, you read it carefully, and you break it down into its component parts, because there are essential parts there that apply to the cases. If you've ever seen an episode of Law and Order where they start saying cases back and forth to each other, what the principle is of the particular case, that's what a case brief is for, so that you can quickly go through a case, come up with its main points, what the holding is, what the court has determined, and then you can apply them to future cases. We do that all the time. We call it precedent. When there's a precedent for something, then we try and follow that precedent unless there's a good reason not to. And so what you need to do is you need to look at the case, read it carefully, and then make application. Because the case briefs are so hard, I want to do a tutorial on how to do a case brief with the Walmart case. I hope to have that posted sometime by Wednesday, I hope, of this week. Finally, forum comments. You are required to make 2 original posts, and then, sometime after Wednesday, make 2 responsive posts. Everybody thinks the person who wrote before them did a great job, so don't even say it. Don't need it. These are not opinion pieces. The whole idea behind the forum posts are for you to go either to your textbook or out on the internet or wherever and find legitimate sources that support the idea that you're coming up with. You cite the cases, and then you can add your opinion. It should never go opinion and then citation. It should go citation and then opinion, so that we can all see how that applies to this particular case. You'll have plenty of opportunity for the forums. I like to give extra credit, bonus points. Sometimes I'll give you the whole week's credit in a forum if you come to the correct conclusions, you state it well, or you do some extra research and you find a particular case that I'm looking for. So for instance, in the property forum, one of the cases that's out there is Colorado versus Kansas. Usually the question that I ask during the course of the week is, when did that case start? And what was the most recent determination by the courts in it? Um, I've had all kinds of strange answers on that. Be careful, take your time, look at what that case is about, where it's posted in the forum section, and do good research, and you'll be rewarded for it. Like I said, sometimes I give credit for the whole week's assignment, so you'll be able to not worry about your case brief and know that you've got credit for that whole week. That's it for now. This is a hard class. I usually send out a ton of emails. I'm going to try and do that a little bit more by video. Someone at Baker thought it was a good idea to put a face with the course. I don't know why you'd want to put this particular face with the course, but whatever. So I'm going to try and do a little bit more of these and post them to the forums and post them in the threads. So I apologize wholeheartedly. But this is a hard class, but most people leave the class saying, I actually understand more about the law. Part of the reason, going back to why there's inconsistencies between the syllabus and Moodle, is because one of the frequent things that I hear from people is that, well, no one explained to me that that's how the law worked. Well, this is an introduction to it. If you get into a dispute, you're going to understand that inconsistency is the reason that the law exists, and that there is a predictable method that we try and solve those inconsistencies. Good luck. I hope you're having whatever it is that you're having in terms of a day, because for me it's early in the morning and I have on running shorts, and I'm getting ready to go out for a run. So you all have a great day, and I'll check in with you again with the tutorial on how to do a case.